Hello everybody, it's Tara and I am here to show you some pins. This video is going to include pins from each source that you can get. Got a little off track there. Now, the only source that I couldn't come up with is Tokyo. Those pins are really hard to find for me. I don't know why. I should probably try to trade for some on Pinpicks, but I just haven't, and now I know I have a deficiency in my collection and it's really bothering me, but oh well. So what I'm going to do today is show you one pin that water, I'm dying. One pin from each Disneyland or each outlet that I could think of and that I have pins from. Sorry, my mouth is so dry. So I am going to start with Walt Disney World, which is vast. If you haven't been there, and I haven't, but because I collect pins, I understand that each place in Walt Disney World has their own pins, and I've chosen just a couple from two lands in two parks in Walt Disney World, so you can see what kind of pins are available there. So I have chosen one from Epcot Center. This is pass holder's pin, and you can tell that because there's always that that logo on a pass holder's pin, always. If you get a pin that doesn't have the card, like this one has the card, so you can tell. But if you get a pin and you don't, you're looking for what it is, pass holder's pin will also have the logo. We'll also have the logo. Trust me, it's right. It's right there. See if I can't get it in for you. The light is crap right here, right now. Yeah, it's the best I'm going to get. Try to pull away a little. There you go. That's probably as good as it's going to get. But that will also draw your attention to the fact that it's a pass holder's pin. For other Disneylands around the world, I think in China, in Hong Kong, they're called Magic something, and so they're different, but you can always count on them having really cute pins. And I also have one here from the land I'm the most wanting to go to, and this is actually a pass holder's pin also, and it commemorates, this is, I believe, 5 years of Animal Kingdom, and it's beautiful. It has vibrant colors. It clearly says it's a pass holder's pin at the bottom, and on the back it does not have the logo. I thought it should have, but I'm trying to see. It is a limited edition. It looks like a 4,000. So that's Walt Disney World. Like I said, they also have a Magic Kingdom, which is what they called their Disneyland. They also have, just a lot of diverse places that you can go to. Next, I'm going to show you a Disneyland pin. Now, these are readily available in the park, but at different, they do have the limited editions, and those may go the first day, or they may be there the next year when you come back. It just depends. Not really, I'm just kidding. But this one is commemorating Christmas, and it's actually a jumbo pin. I would even, and what better way to commemorate Christmas with, when, don't laugh at me. What better way to have a Christmas pin than to have Jack and Sally on it with their wreath and a date that you can change. There's a little wheel in the back and you can change it. I don't suggest you do it a lot or fool with it a lot, because these pins are fragile. A lot of them are. So I would suggest when you get your pins, the one you're going to keep, put them on a board or in a book. I much prefer a board because you can enjoy them, but a lot of people keep theirs in books. I keep my traders in books for the most part, because that way I can scoop them up whenever I'm on my way to a park and enjoy them. Okay, now Disneyland in California, which is usually referred to as Disneyland Resort, is split into two parks now. Actually, three different areas. There's Disneyland Resort, there's Downtown Disney, which is a bunch of shops and restaurants and things you can buy, you know, that kind of thing. And then there's California Disney. For California Disney, if you haven't been there, it's a really amazing park. It's almost based on an old-time boardwalk type park. Like, I don't know if anyone had ever been to POP, Pacific Ocean Park in California. You might have some memories coming back from if you've ever been to different seaside parks that are mostly gone now. But they also put out specific pins for that area, and you usually have to go to that area to pick up a pin. So just because you go to the Pin Hut, which is, if you're coming in, you know, from the parking lot, and you go to the very back headed towards the Rainforest Cafe, there's a thing there called the Pin Hut, and they're really one of the best stocked. It's like a kiosk, a large kiosk, and they're really one of the best stocked places in Disneyland to pick up pins. And I just want to show you, I only have two of these, and I'm not sure if there are more, but these are also pass holder pins. I have a big collection of pass holder pins, and these are specific to California Disney, which is actually called Disney California Adventure. And a lot of it is geared to California. You will see, like, that's where they have a water ride. That's where they have different things that are more, you know, food and that kind of thing, that are more likely to be found in California. And it's a great park. It's a great place for kids because they have the Little Mermaid ride. They have Monster Inc. Is it Monster? No, it's my head. They have, our favorite ride is Toy Story Mania, and you get on and you go crazy trying to you know, it's like an old-fashioned you know, game you would find maybe on a Midway somewhere. And you just shoot characters and you get actually get a score. So you can shoot against not only who's in the car with you, but you can compete with, you know, whoever's in whoever's been on the ride that day. Trust me, it can be very ego inflating. Okay, so the next place, and this place is not at Disneyland or any other park. It is called Walt Disney Imagineering, and it is from a place in Glendale. And it's easier to get into if you're a cast member. They do open once in a while. They have special events where you can get in, or I think D23, which is a club that you can join if you buy a certain level. I haven't looked at it lately, but it may give you a few days a year to go shopping. And and they have it's Walt Disney Imagineering, and they have some of the best pens that Disney puts out. They're just so hard to get. This one is hard to see because I kept them. There you go. It's obviously Lion King, and it's I would really call this a mini jumbo. It's much larger than most pens. You can see I have long fingers, and you can really see that it's rather large. When you have a pen that came in the plastic, I would leave it in the plastic unless you have, you know, some other way of putting them up. But these pens are usually, like this one was $17. So they're more expensive, but trust me, they're great. I want to say investment because a lot of people do invest in Disney pens. I was planning on leaving my pens to one of my grandchildren. And so you do want to have a nice, you know, a nice collection that's, you know, worth something. The Walt Disney Imagineering pens can go sky high, especially when they first come out. And a lot of people don't trade them, so you may not find them on PinPix. People do, and if they do trade them, they want a lot of bang for their buck, and they deserve it because it's a good pen. It's a good pen, depending on what the pen is. Of course, you just have to decide all of that. This next pen ties into the Disney store. They still have, this is called Park Packs. And what it was in its original form was, I don't have backings on these because I'm pulling them off a board. What it is, you used to subscribe, and you could subscribe for a year and they'd charge you, or you could subscribe monthly and they charge you monthly. So if you want to not have that pin, you can stop it from coming that month. But trying to get it straight on the card. But the pack itself had two open editions, which means it's not limited, it's open. But sometimes those open edition pens can gain quite a bit of traction as far as becoming worth more than what you pay for it. And then but those two pens eventually would make it into the parks. So the only thing you're getting is a pen before anybody else gets it. I know people would sell those pens right away, especially if you didn't like it. I was getting three of them a month, and that cost me $120 a month. So I wanted to really get rid of some of them so I could help pay for at least one of my packs. But this particular one is one of my favorite places in Disneyland, and that's the Enchanted Tiki Room. It's very hard when I go to Disneyland with the kids because they see it as an old person's thing to do, even though if they went inside, they would see that it's really a beautiful um, show, and that's like to my millennials. So what are you gonna do? Um, Now the park pack, it's important if you get any, keep it on the card because that really is a big part of its worth. The next pen, excuse me, is from Disney Paris. Paris makes a lot of really good pens, and they are really into the Tsum Tsums. I know I'm saying it wrong, but that's how I always call it. This is from Frozen, I believe, and I have not watched all of Frozen. I know I'm a great pin trader. I don't. I buy the pins and the sets that mean something to me or the characters that I like. And sometimes it's from movies I've never seen, but I'm aware of the characters. And I do have a collection because I collect every damn thing in the world. I do have a collection of DVDs, and I have a large amount of Disney DVDs. So we will someday sit and watch all weekend or all week and see some of these films. Um, the next place I want to show you is a very special place. It is on Hollywood Boulevard, right across the street from the Kodak Theater and Grauman's Chinese Theater, and right by the El Capitan. As a matter of fact, it's connected, I think, to the El Capitan. Anyway, it's very close. And as a matter of fact, this one says El Capitan in there. The thing about this place is their pins are very, very low. You will rarely see anything above an LE 500. So when somebody says, I have a soda shop pen, and it's LE 500, people won't be as interested in, they're more interested in like LE 200s and 300s. And a lot of those come out. They do one, two, usually two releases a month. They're always premium pens. They're famous for putting out pens that are of characters that are um, more that you don't see as much. Maybe it's a minor character that a lot of people love, but there's not many pens depicting that character. But one thing they're really famous for are marquees, which if you know what a marquee is, it's the sign above the theater that tells you what's playing there. And all of their marquees are Disney movies, and this one is a little bigger than most, but you can see it's Aladdin and it has the genie, and here's Aladdin and Jasmine. I believe this one might slide a little bit, but I'm not sure. It's also called a pen on pen, which is this. No. Okay. Well, the Aladdin that is actually a slider would be called a pen on pen, excuse me, if it didn't slide. But since it slides, it's called a slider. But a pen on pen would be like if the genie were another part of the pen that was put on as opposed to being drawn on and then painted. It sticks out. It's a separate pen, much like the Aladdin right there. I can't get it to be the right. anyways, and this is also a much bigger, I didn't pull one of the small ones, but this is a much bigger packaging than they usually have. They also have started using a different, they've used this forever, and they're now using a different one. And to tell you the truth, I haven't even looked lately because I can't afford the pins right now because I'm collecting Funko Pops and pins, but it's hard to get these unless you have somebody very dependable that is going to go and help you get the pin. They're not that expensive. This one was $22, but that's actually pretty rare that they're that expensive. I'm sure they're going up regardless. But if you live in California, you have to get there very early. I know people start lining up really early, especially if it's a really good release. Sometimes releases don't sell out and you can go the next day and they'll still have some pens, but inevitably the best pen will always sell out if there's what they call a surprise release, which means that possibly in the middle of the sale, or maybe right before it, at the opening, they'll have a special pen that goes with the set that they didn't announce, and that's a surprise pen, and you're entitled to buy that too. It's one pen per person, and so a lot of people bring their whole families and their neighbors. So it's a little hard. They start handing out, I forget how they do it. I think they hand out a bracelet. You have to have that bracelet by a certain time, and then they come around, you pull a number. That number is really important because if they have only 300 of the pen you want and your number is 450, you probably won't get that pen. But if they have a 500 pen with it, you may get that one. So, if you want to wait, it takes a long time. And when it's either freezing cold or burning hot, it can be an ordeal. So for me, I either trade or buy when the hype is down. Okay, I have one more pen to show you. Now I've probably misplaced it. Okay. I have not shown you a pen from the newest Disneyland, which is Disneyland Shanghai. I have one. It's a very serious pen, and I wanted to show it separately. So the last pen I have to show you can be controversial, and it is called a fantasy pen. This particular one is a super jumbo, and a friend of mine actually designs and makes these. This is my favorite character in Disneyland, of Disney's, and this is Maleficent, and in the part that I always see as a mirror is her alter ego, which is the big dragon. And you can see this is very well made. On the back it says limited edition of 50, and this is number 3 out of 12, and it's called the Jekyll and Hyde series, which is awesome because right there you've got Jekyll, which is Maleficent. Which one's good, Jekyll or Hyde? I think Hyde's the bad one. And then you have her Hyde, which is the dragon. So don't quote me on that because I haven't read Jekyll and Hyde for a long time. So those are the pins that I wanted to present to you from each place where you can buy a pen. Oh, you know what? I didn't bring one from the studio. In Hollywood on, I want to say Sunset or Highland. You can ask anybody once you're in Hollywood. They will. Don't ask anybody who looks weird because they'll send you to God knows where. Just like, I don't know. Be careful if you're a tourist in Hollywood. It can be a really scary place, or you can have a great experience. It just depends. But the studio also has pens and interesting things to go and see. I've never been able to go there myself, but I have pens from there. But I completely forgot um, to grab one of the pens from there. I'm sorry. So this is my second video, and it is to show you what's available, where you can buy things, and what kind of things to expect. And I think that's pretty much all I need to say about that right now. My next video, which I'm going to make after this one is posted, is going to be on Shanghai Disneyland's Tron Castle pin. So if you are interested in Tron, or if you're interested in Shanghai Disneyland, this is a really excellent way to see what it's all about in Shanghai at Disneyland. This is Tara. Please subscribe to my channel and then hit notifications, which is right next to subscribe once you've subscribed, and that will tell you every time I have listed, or excuse me, every time I have posted a new video. And let's see, put your name in the comments, or put a comment, whatever it is. You were wrong about this, I agree with this, how come you didn't show some of the main core characters? I showed, oh my god, I forgot Hong Kong. Forgive me, Hong Kong. Okay, I'll do this really quick because I can't forget Hong Kong. Hong Kong. Get away from my hair. Hong Kong. This is very typical of what you'll see in Hong Kong. They are not really into the dark side of things, so you rarely see a Maleficent or a Haunted Mansion or a Jack Skellington. They will have whimsical, beautiful, colorful, and sparkly pens. Hong Kong, as you would think, they would be hard to get, but they really aren't. People buy a lot of pins from there, and then they turn around and either sell them or they trade them. So, and I'm gonna explain how to do trades outside of Facebook and inside of Facebook, but not on this video. And I apologize, Hong Kong. You're one of my favorite Disney parks as far as pins go. I have not forgotten anything else, so I'm going to let you go. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, notifications, comments. Like the video if you like it. I would appreciate that so much. And tell your friends. I hope you have lots of friends. Share the video. Okay. Have a great day. See you in a bit.